So in school, it's easy to be afraid of the future because with the future comes the unknown. And with the unknown comes the possibility of failure. And failure can be terrifying. But failure is the past tense of success. I almost said Vince Vaughn. Vincent van Gogh once said, success is sometimes the outcome of a whole string of failures. My name is Molly Steininger, and when I was 17, I was diagnosed with a mental illness that would change the course of my life forever. My brain suffered such a traumatic episode that I lost the ability to read and write. I struggled with my ability to speak. I felt like I lost everything. I went from having a 4.0 to being a high school dropout. My best friends abandoned me. Some of my family members disowned me. I became severely depressed and gained 80 pounds. Everyone at that time was going off to college. I couldn't even read. I felt like such a failure, an utter and complete failure. But time went on, and eventually I got my GED, and I worked up the courage to go to school in San Diego. And I made it for almost 3 semesters, and then I failed again. I got too depressed to go to a single class for the entire last semester. And so I had to drop out of college and move back home to Boise. So I watched everyone my age graduate college. I had never graduated a single thing in my entire life, unless you're counting preschool, but I don't count that one. So I bounced around doing different things. I backpacked around New Zealand by myself. I started a music magazine. I worked as a paralegal. And eventually I decided I want to go to BSU. So a week later, I was in the business building in my first UF 100 class. And then on the first day of one semester, I was like, you know what? I don't like this major anymore. I've always wanted to go to esthetician school. It's only 600 hours, and it just so happens to start tomorrow. So I dropped down to part-time at BSU and did full-time esthetician school. I was terrified I would fail at all of those things, but I was especially terrified I would fail at that. I didn't know how I was going to go to 2 different schools at the same time when I had never graduated anything. The only thing I was good at was giving up and failing. And in summer of 2018, I graduated esthetician school with my license. And in summer of 2018, I graduated from something for the first time in my entire life. The other day, I saw one of my dad's friends, and he was like, Molly, I haven't seen you since you were in high school. What have you been up to? And I said, oh, I got my GED, and I did blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And he looked at me and gave me the same response that I get from everyone, which is, that is great. Like, we're all on our own path. Oh my God, that's super great. You're on your own path. And they, give me it like that. Like, I just said to them, well, since the last time I saw you, I failed at everything. What have you been up to? But I get that response because my success does not look like other people's success. So yeah, I dropped out of high school, had a mental breakdown, dropped out of high school, but who hasn't? And yeah, I might have had a second one and dropped out of college. But my path and my failures didn't define me. They refined me. My failures refined me into a person who accepts others for who they are, because I know what it's like to be rejected for something that you can't change. My failures refined me into a person that loves unconditionally, because I know what it's like to be abandoned by the ones you love. My failures refined me into a person that is her very goofy and weird self all the time and loves life to the fullest, because I know how cold and dark and lonely it can be in the pits of despair. And that knowledge makes every day a warmer and brighter gift. When I look back on the joyless, lifeless shell of a person that couldn't even read, to the person I am now, who is happier than I have ever been in my life, I see success, not failure. It may not be society's idea of success. It may not be much success, but it's mine. My success came from an outcome of a whole string of failures. So dare to see failures as the gifts that they are. Dare to live with confidence in your failures. Don't let yourself get trapped in the fear and shame of comparison, because you will live a shallow existence. Forgive yourself for the times you failed, and be okay with failing again and again and again and again, because when you dare to be yourself, you are betting on yourself, and that is a sure bet. Because one day you'll realize those weren't failures, and they didn't define you. They refined you into the person that you are and the person you will become. So you don't have to dare to be great. You just have to dare to be you. And next up, we have Caitlin.